Hello friends, this is Shelley from Koala Knits and Knacks. Thank you so much for joining me. In this tutorial, we are going to make this gorgeous, like I can't even say beautiful because this is an absolutely gorgeous beanie. We're going to use our 36 peg loom and we're going to use Yarnspirations Caron Sprinkle Cakes. This is actually the first time I've used this brand of yarn, the sprinkle cakes, and I am in love with it. The texture is beautiful, the colorway is gorgeous. There are 5 colors in this particular cake, and we've only made it to 2, so you're gonna have to make something else with the rest of the yarn. You could probably make 2 beanies easily out of this cake. Okay, you're gonna wanna stick around to the end because I'm going to show you one of my favorite gadgets, and that is the Pom-kins and the cinch guide that comes with it. And I'll put the link in the description box below as to where you can purchase those. But this is what I use for my removable pom-poms. Then you can interchange them to whichever pom-pom you want. Change them out or don't wear one at all. And I'm going to show you how I use that and how I make this pom-pom at the end of the video. So stick around for that. And friends, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. I would appreciate that very, very much. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have fun. And once you have your 36 peg loom and your yarn, we're going to get started on this beautiful, beautiful textured beanie. All right, friends, are we ready to begin? I have my 36 peg loom. I've got this little boy tool. I should actually show you how I use it. You take this little shepherd's hook that comes with it, and you take your yarn and you put it on that little hook and you pass it through this little tool. Now, I'm not going to use this tool for the ribbing because you don't want to use it when you're doing pearls. But once we get past the pearl section, then I'll be using it. So I'm going to put it on anyways, and then we'll just slide it up and get it out of the way when we're knitting without it, okay? You're going to put a slip knot into your yarn, just like that. You're going to pop it on your anchor peg and put that tail into the center, just like that, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to, again, take this tool. I'm going to just pull out a little bit of yarn here. Take this tool and get it out of the way. We're going to take our yarn. We're going to go behind that first peg, in front, and behind, doing an E-wrap. Behind, in front, behind, all the way around. All 36 pegs. And when you're using the tool, like later when you're doing this, and you're not casting on, if you don't have one of these little boy tools that I just showed you how to put your yarn through, you're going to want to get one. I got mine in Michael's, but I know you can get them on Amazon as well. Probably get them in several different craft stores. Maybe Joann's, or I'm not sure, wherever you live, wherever your craft stores are, go look. And if you see it, buy it. If you don't, check Amazon, because it really is a wonderful little tool to have. So I am E-wrapping every peg, just like this. There's my last one. And then from there, I'm going to just push these down all the way around. And we're going to begin or finish off our cast on, okay? So you're going to take your yarn, you're going to go from the front, and you're going to make it into a U. This is called a U-wrap. So I'm just going to wrap it around my peg just like that, knit off. Wrap it around the next one, just like that, and knit off. Wrap and knit. U-wrap and knit. So we're not going around the peg like we did for our first part of the cast on. We're just doing a half wrap, which is called a U-wrap. Just like this, and I'm going to do this on all the pegs. This is my cast on, so I'm not counting this yet, okay? And U-wrap. This is a 6 bulky yarn, so it's easy to work with. It makes a beautiful beanie. I haven't used this particular yarn for a beanie, so I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out. I have done this pattern in the past, but I have not used this particular name brand of yarn. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be gorgeous. So we're going to U-wrap all the way to the end. And friends, I'll see you when you get there. All right, so I finished going all the way around. We've got our cast on complete. Now we're going to begin our ribbing. And to do our ribbing, we are going to do a U-wrap, just exactly what we were doing for the first needle. Then for the second peg, we're going to do a pearl. So you're going to pull your loop up to the top of the peg. You're going to put your strand underneath. You're going to take your hook and you're going to go underneath that first loop, scoop up the bottom loop, and there you've got a loop. You're going to take that whole thing off your peg, put that new loop onto the peg, and that's a pearl. Then we're going to U-wrap the next one. Lift up the loop from the fourth one, go underneath, go into that loop, scoop up the yarn, creating a new loop, take that right off the peg and put that new loop on. Again, that's a pearl. U-wrap the next, and pearl the next. Scoop up the yarn, make a loop, take it off the peg, put the new loop on, and tighten. Don't tighten it too tight, but you want to make it snug to your peg. I'm going to U-wrap, pearl, U-wrap, and pearl. I'm going to do this all the way around, alternating a U-wrap and a pearl. U-wrap and a pearl. Don't be afraid of the pearls, friends. It's very easy. You're going to put your loom hook from the top of that loop underneath, put that loom hook over that yarn strand, scoop it up. You've got another loop. Take it off your peg, put that loop onto the peg, and you've done a pearl. Very, very easy. U-wrap and pearl. I'm going to continue on alternating my U-wraps and my pearls until I get to the end, and when I get there, I'll see you back. I'm just finishing up my last two. There's my U-wrap and my pearl. Row 1 is complete. You're going to mark that off on your ticker or your counter or your tally sheet, however you want to do it. I'm going to release my anchor peg. That is row 1 of our rib stitch. Okay, so we've done our ribbing, and we're going to do that 7 more times. Okay, so I'm going to knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl all the way around for row 2, then again for row 3, all the way until we have 8 rows in total done of our knitting and purling. Okay, so let's begin row 2 with a knit. You're always going to knit on the same pegs and purl on the same pegs. So this is peg 2, I'm going to purl. Peg 3, I'm going to knit. Peg 4, I'm going to purl. And I'm going to do that all the way around, alternating my stitches for 8 rows in total. Okay, friends, enjoy the process. I will see you when we have 8 rows finished. All right, friends, our brim is looking great. Once it's off the loom and stretched out and these come closer together, it's going to just be so beautiful. I love it. This yarn is gorgeous. So now what we're going to do is we're going to begin our patterning. I'm going to push my loops down. I'm going to use this beautiful tool. And because this yarn is 6 bulky, I'm only going to go into that first, maybe the second, no, I think just the first one I'm going to try for tension. And then what we're going to do is we're going to E-wrap. So behind, in front, behind, behind, in front, behind, just like this. And see how beautiful this tool is? It's so fun to use. Just love it. This is the first row of our 5-row repeat. Okay, so E-wrap, row 1, all the way around. So then when I'm at the end, I just go behind peg 1 in front of peg 2 and I hold it with my fingers until I can knit off the last peg. Once the last peg is knit off, then I can drop this and we're free to go ahead. And I'm going to go around this way and knit off. Doesn't matter which way you go. And you take the bottom loop over the top, just like this, all the way around. Knitting off our E-wraps. Again, this is row 1 of a 5-row repeat. Easy 5-row repeat, so stick with me, friends, you're gonna love it. Okay, so I'm gonna finish till I get all the way around and then we'll do row 2. I have knit off all the way around for row 1. I'm gonna push those loops down, just like that, all the way around. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna E-wrap row 2. Same way, just like this. All the way around. Okay, so I've E-wrapped row 2. I'm going to knit off the last one. Then I can let this go. I'm going to knit off all my pegs for row 2. Then I'm going to repeat this for row 3. So I'm going to do 3 rows of E-wrap knit off. So go ahead, friends, do this row and then do 1 more and then see me back. Such a fun hat. There we go, friends, got that done. I did my 3 rows of E-wrap and knitting off. Then I went and barbecued some chicken wings, made a salad, and had some corn on the cob. And now I'm back. I'm going to tell you the rest of the 5-row repeat. So what we're going to do next, so we did 3 rows of E-wrap. Now we're going to do 2 full rounds of purl stitch. That's 1. So you're going to need to have these all. I pushed this down and I shouldn't have. My bad. Put your yarn tail underneath the loop. Scoop it up. Make a new loop. Take that off. Put it on your peg. And we're going to purl all the way around. We're going to do that for 2 rows. Okay, friends? So purl all the way around. You're going to go through that top loop. Scoop up your bottom strand, make a loop, take everything off the peg, pop that loop back on. That is a purl. 2 full rounds of purling, and then you're going to go back, do 3 knit rounds, E-wrap rounds, 2 purls, 3 E-wrap rounds, 2 purl rounds. And you're going to do this until you have done the set of 5 times. And that's going to take you to 25 rows of this patterning. And then we've got our 8 rows of our brim, and that will take us to 33 rows. And we're going to measure it before we do another set. Okay, so go ahead and do 5 rows of patterning, or 5 sets of patterning. So 3 E-wrap rows, 2 purl rows, 3 E-wrap, 2 purls. Do that 5 times in total. That's going to give you a total of 25 rows of patterning. And when you get that done, come back and see me, and we are going to take our measuring tape and measure it and decide what we're going to do from there. Okay, friends, have fun, and I'll see you when you get to that end result there. So again, 3 rows of knit, 2 rows of purl. Do that 5 times. All right, friends, how did it go? You know what? For me, it went quite fast. I'm just very happy with how it's turning out as well. And it's not got too many color changes. Like if I look at the ball, I was hoping to get to some of these purpley colors, but that's a good thing because that just means that I could probably make another hat out of this ball. But hopefully I'll get one more color change in before we finish. But I'm going to measure this. We want to have Here's my tape measure. We want to have between 8.5 and 9 inches for the average beanie. I'm going to just put my hand in there like that. And I'm going to let it fall and just go like this. This is 8.5 inches. Okay, so if I was to stop here, it would be snug on my head and just a nice fit. But if you want to go a little bit farther and make it a slouchy hat, then do one more set of patterning, and you will be able to accomplish that. So I'm going to just double check here. I find it easier if I measure from the inside when I measure my beanies. Yep, there we go, 8.5. So what I'm going to do, because I want this one to be snug to my head, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off. And again, if you want a slouchy beanie, go ahead and do one more row of patterning. But for me, I am happy with that. So I'm going to finish off with 3 rows of just E-wrap, okay? So we're going to pop this in there. And I'm going to finish off by E-wrapping 3 rows. So, oops. Go around and around and around, knit off. This is a loose tension. Because I find if I put it in all the metal little sections here, it snags because of the way the yarn is, because of how thick it is. So I just let it slip through. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to E-wrap and knit off 3 rows. Okay, and when I have that finished, I'm going to come back and we're going to close off our beanie. And you'll want to stick with me because I'm going to use a Pom-kins. If you are not familiar with Pom-kins, it's one of my favorite things. If you are familiar with my circular knitting patterns, on my Addy or Centro machine, and some of the beanies that I make there, I use a stitch. I use Pom-kins and a cinch guide to close my beanies for removable pom-poms. It's one of my favorite things. It's a little gadget, very inexpensive. You can order them from Pom-kins, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how I use it to close the top of my beanie. So go ahead, finish it off. I'm going to do 2 more rows and then I will meet back with you. All right, so I finished 3 rows. I'm going to just push these down to the halfway mark, making them a little bit easier to take off with my needle. We're going to do the drawstring cast off, but we're not going to cinch it tight, okay? We're going to just remove it, and then I will show you what I'm going to do with my Pom-kins and my cinch guide, okay? You're going to take this around your loom twice. That's about twice. Once you do this so many times, you can kind of eyeball how much you need. I've taken too much off here, but that's okay. It's going to be good. Okay, and we're going to pop this yarn tail on our needle. These are metal wool needles. They have a plastic end, so you can easily string your yarn through them. I get them in sets of 3, and they're 3 different sizes, and I just absolutely love them. We're going to go in between the first and the last stitch, then we're going to come back over and we're going to go from underneath and go up and take off that last loop. We're going to go over it, well, we can leave it on there until we get a few off, but then we're going to go to the next one. We're going to go under and up, and the next one under and up. I do a few and then I take them off. Just like that. And those 3 were worked, I can take them off. Now we're gonna come on over to this next one. And we're gonna repeat this all the way around until we get our piece off our loom. Try to leave your yarn on the outside like this, and then it won't get knotted like what it was getting before. And then bring it up. Makes it much easier. See, I won't have a problem now before I was letting it drag into the center there, and then it was getting tangled around the pegs. But if you keep it close to your body and then do this, you have a much easier time with it. Okay, now I've got those ones all stitched, so I can take them off and continue around. And friends, I'm going to do that until I get to the end. And when I get to the end, I will meet you back, okay? All right, so we have it off the loom and it's looking beautiful. You know what? It didn't change colors very often, only twice, but you know what? I love it. I think it looks absolutely beautiful the way it changed. And now you can make another hat and it'll look totally different because you got all those other colors in there. Okay, but what we're going to do first is we're going to take this, we're going to just give it a little bit of manipulation. We're going to stretch it and just get those stitches all softened up and nicely in line. And look how much different that looks. Just a little bit different. It just makes it look a little bit nicer when you stretch out your work and you just line up those rows. Softens up the stitches and just makes everything look beautiful. Okay, what we're going to do first, I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie it off into a knot. And one more knot. Then I'm going to work this up into the inside around the stitches, just like this. And then back up. Okay, just like that. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to stretch it out just to give it its shape, and there we go. It's just so beautiful. Look at that. I just think it has a beautiful rustic kind of look to it with this yarn, and I'm just really, really happy with it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this other end. We're going to smooth out the top as we cinch it. We're not going to cinch it all the way close because you know there's a cinch guide coming. I'm going to cut this off so it's not quite so long. I'm going to put my fingers in there. I'm going to smooth this out. Always want to make sure that you smooth it out as you go along so you have a nicer finish at the top. Just like that. I'm going to put this on my needle. We're going to reinforce the top before we add our little cinch guide. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the very top row of stitches, okay? Not too hard to find. Right along the top there, all that edging. We're going to take our needle and we're going to go through that top loops. This will help us to get it closed. I'm going to pull that. And then I'm going to take a few more. And I'm going to pull a little bit, keeping my finger in there, and then I can start adding my cinch guide in just a second. Now this cinch guide just gives us the right width for our pom-kins. This is a pom-kin, and this is what we're going to fold. We're going to put our pom-pom around it. I'll show you on the faux fur one. I wrap the elastic around the pom-kin like that, and then you just bend it, and you can put it into your beanie and remove it at your leisure, okay? And we're going to do a pom-pom with our yarn. And so I'll show you how you add that one onto the pom-kin, but we're going to just finish around here. And then the hole is like a nice size. So if they don't want to wear a pom-pom with it, you don't have to. And so I'm going to stick that in there and I'm going to tighten this. And I'm going to continue around. See how nice that is? Just gives me the perfect size opening. And I'm going to continue. I think I just have a little bit more to do. Pull, smooth that out, get under that last section. I'm going to pull. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up about 2 strands, tie a knot. Push that knot down with my thumb, and then I'm going to tie another one. Just like that. I can go ahead and remove that cinch guide and see I've got a very nice size hole there to put my pumpkins. And you know, if you were without a pom-pom, you don't see it. I'm going to take this into the inside of my beanie. And I'm just going to go around the top layer there just a little bit so I can hide my yarn tail. Just a quarter of the way around maybe, and then back. Then I'm going to cut this off. And I'm all ready for the next part. But this is just beautiful just like this. You can wear it without a pom-pom. Look at that. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. All right, friends, so when I measure this beanie, it is 8.5 inches. So of course there's always a little bit of stretch in it too when you put it on. And I put it on my head and it fits. It's just the absolute perfect size. It's right snug to my head, but if you want, again, to make it slouchier, then you would have added more rows there. But we're gonna go ahead and take our pom-pom, clover pom-pom maker. I want a really chunky, big pom-pom for this particular hat. This is the biggest one that I have in a set of 4. It's got an 85 on the back, if that helps you out any. We're gonna take our yarn. I do have a video that shows you how to make a pom-pom using the clover pom-pom makers on my channel. You can look them up, but I'm going to just give you a quick lesson here. We're going to just take this and we're going to wrap it around the one side. And because it's a 6 bulky, it's not going to take a lot of yarn, a lot of wraps. It's just going to work up really fast. And you're going to keep wrapping. And wrapping and wrapping and wrapping. Back and forth. Oh, there we get a color change. Until you start to see that center smooth out and not have a little dip in it. A little bit more. See? So this is more almost straight here. Just a little bit, and that's perfect the way it is there. I'm going to pop that down. I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to open this other side, and I'm going to do the same thing. Once we have both sides wrapped, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut down the center. So put your scissors right into the center there, and there's a little groove that you follow, and you're going to cut. And then the other side. Gonna take, oops, did I get it all? You're gonna take a strand of yarn. You're gonna double it. Even though it's chunky yarn, you're gonna double it so you have a loop on one end. And you're gonna pop that into the center there. Bring it around, you're gonna take that loop and you're gonna bring those other 2 strands through it, and you're going to tighten it just by pulling like that, and just keep pulling it, and you're going to get it as tight as you can possibly get it. And when it's as tight as you can get it, you're going to take them, you're going to go up, and again I have a video on this so you can see it in a slower manner. With 4-weight yarn that might be easier. And then we're going to tie this one more time. Be careful you don't pull too tight or you will snap it. And one more knot. When that's done, then you can open these little levers here. Pull your clover apart. These are another one of my favorite things. I just love these clover pom-pom makers. Then what you're going to do is you're going to give this a good shake. You're going to take it over your garbage and you're going to cut it to make it round and even and beautiful. And there you go, friends. I take my time when I make a pom-pom because I just want it to be just so perfect and beautiful. When you go to the hairdresser and get a haircut, you want it even all the way around. And that's what I do when I make my yarn pom-poms. Like, isn't this just like gorgeous? I just love it. So now what you're going to do is you're going to, and I'm going to cut these off a little bit shorter too, is you're going to take your Pom-kin. You're going to take your pom-pom, you're going to put it upside down, you're going to take the one strand and you're going to wrap it around your pumpkin in one direction. You're going to hold that with your thumb, you're going to take the other strand, you're going to wrap it around in the other direction. Just about went the same way. In the other direction, just like that. Then you've got one strand on either side. You're going to take these two and you're going to tie a firm knot right in the center of that pumpkin, just like that. You're going to then take your yarn tails, you're going to put them on your needle. You're going to go up into the center of your pom-pom, if you can get it up there, and out the top, pull it out, cut them off, bend this in half and give it a good shake. There we go. Now this is hard to bend, I'm going to tell you. It's well, it's not hard, but it takes a little bit of effort to bend it, and that's because once it's in your hat, it just pops right out straight and stays in place. So if you have a little bit of a difficulty bending this, that's perfect. It's how it should be. So then you're going to take your beanie. You're going to find that little hole that you made with your cinch guide. If you don't have a cinch guide, or if you order the pumpkins and you'll lose your cinch guide, just use a pin. It's about the same. I'm going to pop that in there. It spreads out like that, and no, this does not hurt your head. You don't feel it at all. And there you go. You've got your removable pom-pom attached to your beanie. You can go ahead and take it out, wear it without it. You can take it out and put a different one in, and you've got a gray one, or however you choose. So my friends, that is a pumpkin. This is our textured beanie that we've made on our loom. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. There you go, friends. I really love this yarn, and if you use this yarn to make this beanie, then you'll know what I mean. But if you went ahead and used a different yarn, please go out and buy a ball of this, a cake of this. You're gonna absolutely love it. It feels beautiful. The weight is great for this kind of a project, and the colorway is just gorgeous. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for joining me, friends. It's always a pleasure spending time with you. Take care and have a blessed day.